This is the Wrestling for Life Network. This is another live stream tonight. We are here for TNA Impact. There's a lot going down on tonight's show. The world title is on the line. We finally get Steve Maclin versus Mike Santana for the TNA World Championship. We also got Matt Hardy versus Vincent with Jeff and Dutch tied up, handcuffed at ringside. Jada Stone is in action. Indy Hartwell is in action. There's a lot going down tonight on TNA Impact, so let's get into it. What is up, guys? This is the Wrestling for Life Network. And like I said, this is another live stream. It is Thursday. That means TNA Impact is on tonight. And as I briefly ran down the card before, we got the TNA World Championship on the line. The International Championship is on the line tonight as well in an open challenge. Jada Stone is in action. Matt Hardy versus Vincent, all going down tonight on TNA Impact. But if you don't know who we are, I am Anthony by Elegance, and I am not doing this stream alone. That is Big Nick.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrestling for Life Network proudly brings to you its tag stream champions of the world, the man who puts the T in TNA, Ringsider Anthony. I am Big Nick. You didn't even get to call yourself Anth by Elegance tonight, my guy. Have you disavowed the name out there?
I thought I said Anthony by Elegance. Did I miss that?
I think you might have missed it, but I digress. But at least we're not going to miss seeing Steve Maclin back here tonight, back in the world title picture, the rematch after the match to where he got concussed, got taken out. I know it's a taped one. Any potential that we get an actual title change, that they somehow, the secrets didn't get out, they made everybody in the audience sign an NDA?
Right. I mean, I would love for a title change to happen tonight. You know, a big thing of mine is seeing Steve Maclin as world champion again. But I feel like tonight, you know, potentially Mike Santana retains. I don't see any type of surprises there. Maybe we get something building towards, you know, Slammiversary, where it could be a triple threat with Eric Young being involved as the #1 contender. There's a lot of pieces to play here. I've also seen some rumors of this could be potentially Steve Maclin's swan song with TNA, you know, with him stepping away. That one hasn't really been huge. I've seen, you know, a few fans talk about that, but I mean, it's interesting to see where we go from here tonight after the results of the world title match.
Yeah. I hadn't heard the whole thing of that might be his, you know, swan song. I've seen more people talking about how Leon's up in like September and stuff like that. But I could definitely see where Eric Young gets involved in this match, and that's where we get a triple threat. Like we talked about it briefly before in live of Slammiversary. Every title's on the line. We've got the international title on the line tonight, which I think they've all but given up and pointed out who they're taking on, of who Mustafa's taking on with Starboy Charlie.
Yes, that is correct. That is his opponent tonight. Never heard of Starboy Charlie, so I've heard some
watched a bunch of them on GCW and a lot of the independent shows. So yeah,
okay,
he's right now the WWE ID champion. So he's definitely a guy to watch.
Oh, okay. I've heard some good things from some of the folks that attended the taping, saying this match was really good. So I am looking forward to that one tonight with Mustafa Ali.
Right, but should we say hi to the people, as we only got about 10 minutes before this show kicks off?
Yeah, absolutely.
So remember, folks, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We just passed 10K. We're trying to get to 20K. We got to figure out what's going to be the next stipulation on the line. But yeah, be a friend, tell a friend. But the top 3 from last night, Spaz, Ronan, and Ken. Shout out you 3. That's how you get your points, folks. YouTube does it for us, so don't blame us if you feel you got robbed. But the more you chat, the more you super sticker, do what you will. Words are fighting my tongue right now, but yes, the more you chat better than I, the more points you get. But absolutely, as here, let you read off some of the names, as my tongue needs to, you know, settle down here for a minute.
Yeah, starting from the top, we got Zach saying National Strawberries and Cream Day, Anthony and Big Nick. Thank you for all like the national days of everything. I mean, I'm not up
we
to
have
date
the morning announcements before every stream.
That's exactly what it is. You get the morning announcements before school day starts and the bell rings.
Right. I pledge allegiance to the wrestling, One Nation, under KJ, all that. That's why we're taking roll call right now.
Exactly. We got Eric in the chat. We got him saying, "Hey, wrestling for life buddies, can't wait for tonight, including Maclin versus Santana 2. And I pity the fool who doesn't celebrate the birthday of Lawrence. I cannot ever pronounce his last name, so you might have to do that part. AKA the legendary Mr. T."
Yeah, let's just stick with Mr. T out there. I see why he shortened it up a little bit.
Exactly, because I don't know what that is. I don't know how to pronounce that as well. See money, bada bing, bada boom. Realest guys back in the room. How you doing? How you doing? See money. How you doing? Sean down here is saying, "What is up?" Rip Kyle. I guess that's Bush, a wrestling fan, lost to earlier. He said, "I am not familiar of who Kyle Bush is."
NASCAR driver. Yeah, Kyle Busch was a NASCAR driver. Actually, just recently raced. Like, I saw he was getting interviewed after a race like 5 days ago, and just I'm not even sure as to the reasons why, but just tragically passed away at I think 41 years old. So very much T's and P's out there.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, 41 is definitely too young to lose your life. So yeah, thoughts and prayers out to his family.
Yeah, I know
Kevin,
you're a young lad, but when you're out there, you're kind of staring down that barrel a little bit. It gets a little more that hits closer to home.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when it's someone around, I am close to 41. I'm about 9 years away from that, but that's still fairly close. So yeah, when it's someone that young, it's definitely pulls on your heartstrings just a little bit more.
Right. Kevin, what up? Ha. Most wrestling channels were saying goodnight last night when the Ludwig news dropped. I think we were too. It happened late in the evening. And trust me, we are definitely going to be talking about this probably a little later in the evening.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Ken, what up? Yeah, being a racing fan, he was always one of my favorites. Yeah. So that's very much, T's and P's to the NASCAR fans.
Yeah, absolutely.
TJ, what up? Clay, I see you. Boston out there. Hola, senores and senoritas. ¿Qué pasa, amigos? Did I do actually kind of well there with my Espanol?
Because I wasn't going to come nowhere near close to that.
Fair enough. Senores and senores. Yeah, the lucha libre. That is your Spanish lesson. Shout out Big Ray. Always starts off all of his streams with saying, your Spanish lesson for the day is lucha libre is wrestling in Spanish. But see money, I see you. But yeah, Boston's just doing the whole Spanish gimmick, I think, until he's gone full Kaiser. He's auditioning for the part of El Grande Americano because that might be coming up for an empty role here soon, potentially.
It may.
Almost crossed the line. Ronan, what up? Free Kaiser. 1996. Brendan, shout out over on Twitch. We do have the Twitch as well. James Paul, Z-Man, Scar, I see you. MDB, this man's still going on about Iceman. This man is Drake Stan #1. I see you didn't have a nice thing to say there for MDB.
Silence is the best.
The silence was deafening. James Paul, what up? Trek, hey guys, what's up? Proud uncle here. Shout out. My youngest nephew graduating high school today. Well, there you go. Hey. Shout out. Round of applause. I don't think any of my nieces or nephews are anywhere close to being that age, more middle school than high school. But yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah. Big feat there.
All right. We're all unks around here. Unk and unkettes. Vance, what up? Christopher Cox. Yes, we did talk about Kyle Busch, sudden illness. Yeah, I didn't see the cause of death, but yeah. Bradley with a $5 super chat. Rest in peace to Kyle Busch. He was more than a WWE 24/7 champion. He won 234 NASCAR races between the Craftsman Truck Series, O'Reilly Auto Parts, and the Cup Series. Well, there you go, Bradley. Appreciate the 5 bones. And yeah, breaking down the man's career. I forgot he was a 24/7 champion. Then again, if Anthony told us all right now he was a 24/7 champion at one point, I believe him.
If I said it, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't even remember much about the 24/7 championship, but going back through it, I do know there was a couple of celebrities that did hold that championship. So not shocked there.
Right. Vance, damn, Kaiser getting arrested for a storyline is insane. Imagine if they tied that into, the other El Grande framed him. I saw people sharing when they did the like breaking El Grande out of the handcuffs with the Rojos out there. That when you got to free your boy from jail so he can compete in a mask versus mask match.
Yeah, I also saw a clip going around with I think it was him attacking, the original El Grande, and basically the caption said, "When you tell someone to get a room," and I just died laughing.
Right. Yes, folks, just as a cautionary warning now, don't tell people to have manners in public. Allegedly, you can get, punched in the face, apparently, if that happens. But
Right.
we keep teasing about talking about this, but we got like minutes before the show kicks off. So I don't want to go into a 15-minute diatribe.
No, I agree. I agree. Maybe that can be something we save for a commercial break.
Right. Boston. Nick, make sure Anthony sees my question I asked. Well, now you're going to have to repeat it because I'm not searching through all your Spanish. I'm a step above an uncle. I'm a godfather. When you come to the day of my daughter's wedding, godfather. Well, you know what that means, Bradley. 1-800 whoop that. Who's a what now? Bradley, you know damn well he's going to start MDB. It's his only time on stream every week. Oh, so Anthony's and MDB's, their feud's already popping off. I see.
Oh, when I didn't respond when you clicked on his comment earlier, I
Yeah.
mean, that's common courtesy, actually, if you don't
You
respond.
didn't say get a room. You didn't say please have manners. You just sat there quietly. You didn't want to be in no
Exactly. That's
elevator.
common courtesy. People forget that. That's Southern hospitality down here in Atlanta. So be grateful.
There you go. Well, Boston is now asking you, Anthony, in all caps. So do I need to yell it? Anthony, do you want to watch the Poughkeepsie tapes later? Ooh.
I've never seen that movie. We might have to. We'll see.
I don't know what the Poughkeepsie tapes are.
It's a horror
Sounds
movie.
like you're
That's all I
tape
know.
trading from like an old indie show.
It's a horror movie. That's all I know about that movie.
Fair enough. But yeah, I know we're kicking off tonight with the system as I'm getting the end of Men in Black 2 right now.
Yeah, pretty sure it'd be some type of celebration with Cedric Alexander, stopping Leon Slater from becoming the longest reigning X Division champion in history. So I'm excited.
But he's still tied for number one. He's still tied for number one.
He's still tied for number one, yeah, with Austin Aries. And I'm sure, I don't know if we get a Fabian sighting during this segment. I don't know if we straight transition into that. Does Leon come out? I don't know, but there's some interesting parts that could happen with this segment tonight.
Well, how has no one brought this up to this connection before? They traded it out of Ludwig goes down and Fabian Eichner returns as the prodigal son out there.
Yeah.
Your boy, that was the great surprise at the end of last week of Fabian coming out there. What's he got to say? What's he going to be involved with?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. We'll see what he may be involved with. I know, speaking of like Eichner here, like Tiffany Stratton came out this week and basically said, she wasn't the reason why he got kicked out of Imperium. And apparently there was rumors floating around that like he hit on Tiffany while she was with Kaiser and he got upset and went to management about it. I don't know. It's just a lot of things have happened over the past like 48 hours with the three of them.
Yeah, I didn't exactly anticipate having Tiffany Stratton, go on a stream and spill the beans about how, well, no, Eichner never flirted with me. I've only had this done and only had that done, but I'm not plastic. I didn't have that on my 2026 bingo card.
Exactly. Like I didn't expect all of that to like happen with like in the matter of the last like 24 to 48 hours. It's crazy.
Well, it's just one of those of like, I as a wrestling fan don't want to be involved in wrestlers' personal lives all that much of who's dating who's cheating, who, all of this. But for the wrestlers themselves to go out there and have to publicly address it or address it just on their own, it is just a weird time to me. Like, I don't want to know this. Why are you telling me this?
Yeah, I am the same way. Like, I'm big on like not knowing as TNA is getting started here with the intro package.
Right.
I don't want to know what goes on in wrestlers' personal lives. It ain't got nothing to do with me. That's just me personal. Like, that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, I got my own personal life to deal with. My own personal
Exactly. I
life.
got my own issues. I don't need to know what the wrestlers' issues are too.
I would rather worry about what's going on in the ring, which is what I'm supposed to do. Maybe some of the creative stuff, what have you, but I don't need to know who's knocking boots.
Exactly. They ain't got no business for me to know.
See, we would have just sat in a corner and not said nothing on that damn elevator, and you go on about your merry way. Sounds like looks like you're having a great time.
Mind the business that pays you. That's how I put
Right.
it. Mind the business that pays you.
But Cooper, what up? As I am getting the crowd shot right now, or fan shot of TNA.
You might be ahead of me just a tad bit, but let me see.
No, I have the system right now. They're
okay. Yep.
Still a Titantron. I always call it a Titantron.
That is where I am. Yeah, with the system coming out. So I think we're
there
good.
We go. Got him on the ramp right now.
Yep.
There we go, folks. We are syncing up so you can sync up with us at home as well as, oh, yes, we start off with my favorite person, Alicia Edwards.
Right smack dab in the middle of this group, Alicia Edwards.
I digress. Well, then Cooper says Austin Powers or we riot. Anthony, you gotta watch that Austin Powers.
Y'all gonna have to get over that. No comment.
I, as a wrestling fan, want to be involved with Anthony watching Austin Powers. Roto saying, have we got a new home for New Day? Not yet. Hey, what do you say? I get what you're saying, but I think they're still all under kind of like 90 days. So I would expect more. August SummerSlam time would be when you start to see some of these release talents pop up.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. We'll see that like close to the end of like what June, July, of where we'll see that stuff. There is one thing we can briefly talk about. I don't know if you've seen the back and forth on social media between Bayley and some of the TNA roster. I think it was even Indy Hartwell that said, "Are you available June 28th?" That's the date of Slammiversary. Tom Hannafin, one of the commentators, got involved. I don't know. I don't know if Bayley's going to turn up on TNA, but it's definitely been some heated exchanges between Bayley and some of the TNA roster.
I haven't seen that, but I'm all down for Auntie Pam showing up in TNA. But now, I guess probably quickly to Roto's question about new home for New Day. Could the New Day end up in TNA? When all is said and done, it feels like they're all set in stone to go to AEW, but could they end up in TNA?
I mean, it's a possibility that they end up in TNA, but I mean, from what's been like brought to our attention online, it seems like it's more of that they're heading to AEW. And like, one of the things I read earlier this week is that some of the roster is actively pushing for them to show up in AEW. So I don't know.
Yeah, especially people with EVP powers and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But Eddie Edwards out here cutting a promo.
Yeah,
that was a statement.
About, the X Division title win last week.
So is Eddie going to go back towards the world title now?
I mean, if they're trying to take, the majority of the gold in TNA, that would be a way put him back in the world title picture.
Now, did you really catch this? Because I caught it later after the fact, but I pretty much last week, Eddie Edwards just openly said that he's the one that took out Moose. Like, I thought that was still kind of up in the air.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of up in the air too, but replaying it back, it was basically the system took out Moose. I guess they wasn't going to drag this out. I thought it would have been like some type of bigger plot here, but it was just straight out said that they took him out.
Do a whodunit instead of it's just, is the system a little rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat? Is the system TNA's bloodline? And I see you, Spaz, will read you in a minute.
I would rather them beat TNA's Bloodline than AEW's. What is it? The
Callis
Death Riders.
family.
The Death
Oh, Death
Riders.
Riders.
Yeah.
Notice how I just instantly went to one of the many factions.
I would rather them definitely be more of TNA's version of the Bloodline, like rinse and repeat. And it's not like what the Bloodline is doing is bad now, because I actually like it. I am tuning in a little bit to see what Roman is doing with Jacob and stuff like that.
Right.
At least this time around with the system, we at least got two new members of the system with Bear Bronson and Cedric Alexander, so it's a little bit of different this time around. But yeah, I can definitely put them in the same line of this is like TNA's version of the Bloodline.
It's like it's same system. It's a system, literally. I guess pun intended on the name of, like you said, throw in Cedric, it still fits and still works. Throw in Bear Bronson, still fits the same, still works the same.
Exactly. Exactly.
I still swear up and down, like probably even especially in TNA, by the end of this year, Bear Bronson's going to be a world champ.
I mean, that would be something, and seeing Bear Bronson basically be outspoken about how like he felt underutilized in AEW and seeing where he is now, leaving AEW, taking a step back, going back to the indies to find himself. And now, he's a tag team champion in TNA. Seems like he's the focal point of what TNA is trying to do. I think that would be good for him to eventually hold that world title, maybe close to the end of the year, beginning of next year. So I'm kind of with you there.
There we go. Well, him versus AJ Francis. That'll be the feud going into the summer of TNA.
Yeah, him versus AJ Francis would be good. There's still like a few matches that I would like.
That's dope. So they have new shirts, new merches. We've got our new merch, but TNA's got new merch of Record Taker.
I saw this floating around today, just the word Record Taker, and I didn't put two and two together, but I like that.
Is TNA Cedric best Cedric?
I think it's definitely his most utilized Cedric for real in that aspect. So it might be his best Cedric.
Right. But
he's calling out Fabian.
Oh. The man that almost broke us in half last week, Vinny Vinci, Fabian Nightmare, Giovanni Vinci, the debated standing 10 count that I might have took from that ass whooping BTA from you about Nightmare.
We definitely had some exchange of words last week before the end of the stream.
Right. The biggest obstacle, so he's trying to make himself better. I'm a future TNA champion. So he's just started from the bottom. Now we're here. He's trying to like from the ground up.
Yeah, kind of running down why he's here and stuff like that.
The X Division title is looking real nice. I don't see. That's the thing is, do you really think when you look at Vinci, do you think X Division?
I mean, and that would be the same question you would say for like a Samoa Joe. Like when you looked at Samoa Joe,
touche. But it's been a minute since we've had a Samoa Joe in the X.
Yeah, I mean, in the same like with Moose, like I don't see Moose as X Division champion, and we got him. So I mean, it's a fair point, but so Cedric
rolls out of the lumbar.
Yeah.
That's
nice into a submission.
Hits like the reverse Death Valley Driver kind of vibe into a bulldog choke. So Fabian just runs off the whole system.
Yeah.
But Spaz, we've had you up for a minute. $10. Thank you very much, sir. I, as a wrestling fan, want to know if Tony is as sad as I am about the Slater to AEW rumors. Also, has y'all seen Piper out in the streets having Mason Rooks back, new mixed tag champs? I have not seen any of the Slater news.
Me
But
neither.
shout out Piper out there of on the recovery path and everything. Of hopefully we're able to see Piper Niven, the Slagent P out there back in the ring.
Yeah, we can see Piper Niven soon. I really like Piper Niven. So hopefully we get to see her back soon. But I did not see anything about the Slater going to AEW rumors. That is new to me.
Yeah, well, and I could see though, back to the Piper thing, I could see to where, oh, Daria with Maclin, but I could see where Piper, formerly known as Dewdrop, would have Mason Rooks back. He's been the victim of some body shaming, is the best way I can put it. Of people want to see big men in wrestling, but not big men that I guess look like Mason Rook.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. I mean, there's been some crazy things I've seen on social media about Mason Rook. I mean, good thing for someone like Piper to come up and stand up and have Mason Rooks back. That's upstanding by her.
I mean, the guy got pretty much the blessing from John Cena when he's out there putting he's big, he's bad, he'll body slam your dad. I think the guy's already over at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, from one big boned human being to another, I'm cool with it. Speaking of things, though, I'm not cool with Elayna Black about to take on Indy Hartwell.
Yeah, your favorite person. I think we both
They're
hate,
just.
hate
I
her,
think
though,
per
or dislike
capita,
her.
TNA has the most talent that I actually dislike. The percentages, because AEW has the deeper roster. TNA, there's like a solid like chunk of people that I'm just not gonna get over. I don't like it, and I don't care if I'm wrong. I'll die on that hill.
No. It's I definitely understand there, especially when it comes to Elayna Black. It's just not for me. We'll just say it like that.
Well, Damien's saying let's go Elayna Black. I mean, it's not Mason Rook's fault. He looks like Peppa Pig. Oh, Jesus. He's doing the best with what he's got. Yeah, but Mansky hit a moonsault and all that. And again, you actually watch some of this man wrestle, and there's something there. Like, he's very much got that Keith Lee kind of vibe. Again, where was everybody saying this about, Keith Lee, who I wish would come back to goddamn wrestling?
Yeah, where is Keith Lee to be?
Health issues, and then he kind of just old man river.
Yeah, he just kind of disappeared. Yeah.
But I'm in a commercial break. We can finally kind of talk about this a little bit. For those who don't know, and if you don't know, how do you not know, of the one El Grande Americano, Ludwig Kaiser, Marcel Barthel, which is still like the man's even got a natural born wrestling name, was arrested late last night, or turned himself in, I believe, actually, because he had a warrant for his arrest for a battery charge in Florida, I want to say. So where, make a long story short, the alleged story that came out is that he was in the elevator with a female friend, and they were very passionately involved in, explaining how they're friends with their faces. And the other patron in the elevator, when they got off on the elevator, said, "Could you please have some manners," or something to that effect. Marcel then proceeded to swing, give him the old 1-2, and yeah.
Yeah.
Did I miss any step in that story?
No. I think you covered everything, but yes, that's the gist of the story there. I don't know. I guess I feel like indifferent. I'm like, mind your business. That's kind of how I feel. Like, not towards like Ludwig, actually towards the person who said what they had to say. I feel like if it was in a different situation where potentially there were like kids around or something like that, I can see someone stepping up and saying something, right? But it's the three of y'all in the elevator. All you had to do was walk off, be quiet, and go to, I think it was actually his apartment complex. So go to your apartment and and be quiet, right? But no, you decided to say something and you got what you deserved. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I didn't know you had them hands like that, my guy. But Wizard of the Odd, what up? Howdy. MDB. I see, this is the counter argument, though, too, of, I mean, if you're in someone's personal space, I kind of get it. I mean, the reaction to what was said, even 1 second, I had a cough. The reaction of what was said, I don't think is exactly warranted. Like, that's not the most offensive thing. Like, that doesn't to me deserve getting punched in the face over. But yeah, and to me, I
I
think
don't.
go ahead.
I personally feel like there was more said than what we know.
Mm.
That's what I
Yeah,
believe.
if you're the one calling the police, you're not gonna be like, and then I told him to go F himself and
Right, exactly. I definitely feel like more was said. I don't feel like it was just have some manners and then those were the alleged words that were said, have some manners and then walk off the elevator. I do not believe 100% that was the only thing that said that caused Kaiser to react the way he reacted.
Right. But Soffit, what up? And yeah, see money, like we were just talking about. Get a room hardly seems like fighting words when you're on the elevator up to your apartment. But maybe that wasn't all that was said. Either it's still not a good look either way for Ludwig. Of I still don't exactly want to condone the action. I also
Mhm.
don't think that it's gonna be much about nothing. Um Cold hearted or not, WWE and TKO are really not gonna look too much into this, and they'll probably
Yeah.
try and just sweep it under the rug as much as they can. I don't think that they'll change up their booking. I don't think that they'll all of a sudden Gable gets the Grande gimmick because Grande punched, a gentleman in an elevator. I don't think we do that. I think this is going to just be. It sucks that it happened. It's not a good look, but it'll be gone in a week.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We won't hear about it much anymore. Um, I'm just like, for me personally, I'm like in public, regardless of what I see and don't see, Anthony is gonna mind his own business. I ain't saying nothing. That's just me personally. I'm not, especially here in Atlanta and how rough it is, especially working downtown, almost being robbed, working at the last shop I was at. I ain't
Ooh.
saying nothing and then getting in nobody's business. That's just me. So
You can have that. That ain't even what I'm mad at. It's almost like it's been a motto the whole time.
right.
Paul, what up? Um, Soft, I see you as Indy coming out right now. So, folks, let us know who you got for this match. Whether you got Indy Hartwell or Elayna Black, and why do I feel like we're both definitely going Indy Hartwell?
We're going Indy Hartwell. There's no question there. Um, but I was about to click on that comment. I actually agree with this statement. I don't think she's improved greatly in the ring since her debut in TNA. How do you feel about that?
I mean, you're not exactly wrong. I want to phrase this as best I can, trying to be politely, not like I got Carlos Silva online, but I might. You never know. Um, I think TNA very much can allow certain talent to get complacent of not progress with how they are and kind of be more on their name and what else they bring outside of in
Yeah.
ring. There's no real push to get it better. Not saying with everybody, but I think it's a place that you can get away with not progressing in ring.
No, I agree with you there. I feel like there's certain times where there's wrestlers that come in from other companies, basically
I
like you
would
said
argue
on their
both women
name.
in the ring kind of fit this same argument.
Yeah, and came in with their name values and didn't improve much. So I'm kind of with you there.
Right. Deport Kaiser. Oh Lord. So then where was all of this with Jey Uso, with the Usos with multiple DWs? Where was this with Liv with getting caught with the bag and all of that? Like,
I feel like Boston may be joking. I, th-
oh, I
I
don't
would,
doubt that he is, but yeah, he's going to
but
be
yeah,
very much doing the contrarian as much as he can.
yeah.
As Elayna knocks out Indy, she's like Timu Page is Cora Jade, and just with half the talent too. She took instead of the pay cut, she took the talent cut, and just has 50% of the talent.
Right.
Rhoda, what y'all think of the Beast laying out Oba? Oh, we haven't talked about that. That's got to be a thing too. But one, two, and also we got Enzo allegedly talking to WWE. Big Cass might be reunited, and it feels so good. You're soft, you're sloppy, jalopy.
Yeah, and Baron Corbin shot down all the rumors of him going to
Did he, or did he
WWE.
just kind of say, we'll see?
I mean, he said that he took 8 more bookings, after Fightful said that all his bookings were done. So he said, I need someone to let me know who's making my schedule because apparently I'm not making my schedule. I feel like that was fairly clear,
Fair. But could it just be we're running out to them and those MLW tapings run off? Because he's still he's their tag champ right now, and they have like 3 months behind on tapings.
I mean, it could be, but also I feel like re-signing him would be, I'm trying to put this nicely, would be a waste for him because like we've seen them re-sign guys like Alistair and Andrade, and now they're gone. Like they didn't even last like a year, so we re-signed Baron Corbin to do what? The track record with re-signing.
You got to sign them and use them. But is it weird that they just cut like half a dozen, they cut 23 some odd people. And now we're going to say like, here, bring back a bunch of free agents out there on the vet men. This is like late in the offseason. We're seeing in the NFL of like, it's late offseason. Hey, we cut some of the, guys we had on bigger contracts that we can't use. So let's sign some free agents out there on the veteran minimum. We'll use them for a little bit. They'll do some mid shit. And then we'll cut them in 2 years or whatever. Or they'll maybe become something. Like you said, if Baron Corbin does that, are you losing your momentum to go back to where you were in WWE? The same spot.
Exactly. Who is that?
Ariana Grace.
Oh, I'm like, I couldn't make out anything. I know Indy had called out Ariana, said even if she didn't have the championship, she wanted to beat her. So,
well, because you've seen Indy partnering up a bit with Santino, so we're going to get a mixed tag match. Which, by the way, the Stacks and Graces are very much dressed like they're straight out of the 99 to the 2000s.
I definitely feel you there. I do feel like it'd be more of a mixed tag team match. Which I don't know how interested I am in that. I kind of just want Ariana Grace and Stacks to, go back to NXT.
I feel like they're almost. Would you take them in a trade? The NXT representation offers you Ariana Grace, Stacks, and some draft compensation, maybe another talent or so for, I don't know. I didn't think you'd even take it for a Leon, but, I don't know, maybe an Elias, maybe for the Righteous.
I don't even want to put them in a trade.
Is this going to try to trade like a 7th round pick for a 7th round pick?
I don't even know if I want to put them in a trade. Wait, here comes Santino.
Not cool. You are very not cool.
That's classless.
Rants. Honestly, I definitely feel like we don't have the full story, but real talk. If all he said was have some manners and that was enough for Kaiser to attack him, yeah, he's a straight lane. Yeah, no one's acting like, Kaiser isn't a dickhead in this story.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those, I don't know if is he that much of a dickhead, or did it was something else said that provoked the situation? We've got one half of the story.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I definitely feel like it's more to the story, to be honest.
Release the footage. Release the footage.
Stacks is stepping up to Santino, so you might be right with this mixed tag team thing.
Oh, we got the Cobra. Now, see, this is so you can sit there and see him setting up for it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Don't anyone clip that with me with my hands below my waist jerking like that. Pause.
Right. Oh, there goes Daria. I'm sure that's her.
Right.
Yeah.
Roto, I see you. You mean the Righteous? I was trying to think of potentially comparable draft compensation. Apparently, I'm the only one that likes the righteous, so I think maybe I could get them in a deal.
I mean, I like the righteous, but I don't know of a trade with Ariana and Stacks with the righteous. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's a fair comparison.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Nick, TMZ will get the footage. I don't. It's like the brawl out footage or the all in footage with Jack Perry and CM Punk and everything. Does WWE? Who airs this footage?
Right.
Now get the hell out of my ring and hit my damn music.
I'm assuming
Who holds more authority here?
I'm assuming she's talking about a match being set up that they have to go through the board. Huh.
But you can't tell me that Stacks and Grace don't feel like TNA talent. Especially with the family ties in. It feels like they would be better suited and booted over there.
Well, they've been used more in TNA over the past 5 months than you've really seen them on NXT.
But no one's asking for them back on NXT. No one's asking for them back.
So it's basically fair to say, that they're, more of TNA talent. But I mean, I don't know if I really have anything else to say about that because it's kind of a fair assessment.
Fair enough, but Spaz with a $10 super chat as we go to another commercial of stats. Since its inception, AEW year over year has averaged 50% of its roster being off injured at any given time, topping out at around 25%, 15 or 25 names at any one given time, 10 plus titles vacated. Hot damn, this man, I don't even know if I want to challenge your stats because I don't do well with math. But yeah, well, Willow just had to vacate the TBS women's title and vacate her spot in the Owen. I don't know if you have any feelings on that.
Not really. I'm more of I'm hoping she's okay if she's injured. Because that kind of came out of nowhere last night. Dynamite was last night, yeah.
Yes, I was literally praising her in the middle of this segment. I was like, "Let's go, Willow!"
Exactly. So that kind of came out of nowhere.
She vacates it. I'm like, "Damn."
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. But regarding the other stats, I'm still trying to kind of compute it in my head because that's a lot of math and numbers, and I don't do math.
Don't you work in like banking or something?
I used to.
Right.
Now I don't
know numbers. This man's supposed to know numbers, and he don't know no numbers. But so, which one do you want to talk about? Of Brock shows up, splits his pants again, but takes out Oba Femi, or you're soft, you're sloppy. We're putting a new face to the tag team division allegedly after we let go a bunch of tag teams.
I mean, we can briefly talk about Brock. I don't really have much to say. I think me personally feel like I think it was perfect for what they did at WrestleMania with him. It felt like it was a passing of the torch. Oba beat him straight up clean, 4 minutes. What I was expecting, a squash match between those two. The retirement after, we didn't know like if it's real, if it's not. I don't really care about that. I think it was set up perfectly for what was done at WrestleMania, and you move and to me it negates the promo that Oba gave the Monday before WrestleMania when he was like, I knew I was the one. I'm always going to be the one. I'm the destroyer. I'm the bringer of war, and basically said he was going to demolish Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and that's what he did. And then to run it back now, it's like, do we always have to do the three-peat in WWE? Like, why is there always have to be a three-peat? We have to run back the match 3 times. I think at WrestleMania was perfect, regardless if Brock was retired or not. I feel like the thing with Oba should have been done at WrestleMania because it felt like a conclusion. But I'm not really a fan of it, but it is what it is. I can't change it. I can just talk about it.
Sorry?
I said I can't change it. I can only talk about it. But I think sometimes when you have the perfect setup for a conclusion, you end it with that perfect setup with a conclusion instead of running a three-peat. Because we're going to run this match back. Brock Lesnar is 100% going to win. And then I would feel like he's going to win. And then we're going to run this match again so they can break the tie, which I don't think is necessary.
I think that's very much where they're going to go with this. I agree with that. The retirement thing at the end of WrestleMania is the biggest kind of monkey wrench in this situation. Of that to me kind of throws off any bit of storytelling or anything that you have to answer that big elephant in the room with all of this. I get if you wanted to do a three-peat, you could have done it, but that retirement, like you said, was the perfect book ending for that. And honestly, if Brock was just done then, nobody was really bitching about it or complaining about it. Yeah, exactly. We didn't get Brock versus Gunther. We'll live without it. But now is this, though, the best thing that they could be doing with Oba? Because the open challenge was potentially starting to fade if we got to the point to where we're having to drag out the Garzas to squash because no one will answer it. No one of value or substance is getting involved in it. He's not going after a world title. Throw him back in Brock. It's the best thing that he's got going.
I mean, if that's their only choice, that's their only choice, right? I see MDB's comment down there. It would be the perfect conclusion for Oba because Oba was the passing of the torch moment that literally happened at WrestleMania. That's the perfect conclusion.
That moment felt big and felt special.
Exactly.
It feels like they robbed us of a special
I don't care if it's Brock Lesnar, The Rock, John Cena, whatever. That was the passing of the torch moment. Clearly a conclusion.
The Ash by Elegance is going to need a torch because the lights go out. But who would have that need of handwriting with lipstick in the dark?
Oh, Allie.
Well, Rosemary, Allie.
That would make sense because every title is being defended at Slammiversary. We don't have a top contender for the tag team titles for the knockouts. So essentially, that would be where you go with Allie and Rosemary. So.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. As we are now getting the Righteous coming out right now. Where's Jose? Jose's got to take a shot because I said the Righteous. So he's got to take a few. But
I think I'm reading the comments again. I think you guys are not hearing me. I negated the retirement story. I said if Brock Lesnar was retired or not. I was talking about Oba specifically. That was a passing of the torch. No matter if Brock Lesnar retired or not, WrestleMania was the passing of the torch. I think y'all forgetting that I actually said that. And you're taking pieces of what I said and spewing it into something else. I literally negated the whole retirement thing with Brock Lesnar. I was just saying for the Oba moment, that was literally passing of the torch at WrestleMania.
I hear you. I hear you. We go pass the torch on to Vincent taking on Matt Hardy with Jeff Hardy and Dutch handcuffed at ringside of Let's Shut It Down as Vincent. We know we're going to get the Wicked Garden match. And I've seen a bit of clips going around that it's not a cinematic match. It's an
Yeah, I saw, and I tried to click away from it real quick. I saw like the ropes tied up in like leaves and stuff. And then I was like, okay, I can't see this no more. So it makes me, it's a little bit more interesting of what this is going to turn out to be. I hope the Wicked Garden match potentially is the end of their rivalry, but we'll see.
I think they're still building. We're probably going to get a Hardy compound or something, but this is what I thought we were going to initially get with the Righteous and the Hardys when they had their first run in, when the Righteous first signed with TNA. They had them have a mini feud, and then they kind of paired up for a little bit, and now they've fallen back out again. And I thought we were going to get the Broken Hardys, all of that, on the first go around.
Yeah, we've talked about that. We've talked about that a lot. We talked about how we thought this was going to lead to the compound match.
Right.
And it seemed like they were heading in that direction. And then it was like, let's team with the Hardys. Let's be friends. Let's all be together, right? And then we had them eventually turn on the Hardys again. Um, so the Wicked Garden match coming out of I don't want to say coming out of nowhere, but it seemed like it came out of nowhere. Is very interesting. I'm a little shocked that it's not cinematic. So now I'm a little bit more interested to see where we lead.
But that's the thing, is I think we're going to lead to like the Hardy compound, everything. I do find at least that it's interesting that the Righteous now have been one of those trying to pull the broken Hardys out of the Hardy Boys, of trying to bring back Brother Nero. Like they were excited. We watched the match and we're calling out of how Vincent was excited when broken Matt Hardy showed up.
Yeah, like he was really excited about that.
Smiling.
He was smiling. It was like I said on stream when we saw it, it was like more of confusion and excitement coming from Vincent at that time. So
right.
I think perfectly that's what they wanted. So like you said, this could potentially lead to their portion of this feud with Hardy compound match. I did hear, I don't know how true this is, I did hear like after this match something big happened, but I don't know, I can't decipher what that is.
Oh, we'll see. Well, Frankie, how much more can the Hardys do? I think you could still see a Hardy's WWE run.
I mean, and I feel like and I feel like they've actively pushed that as being signed with TNA is another run with WWE.
Well, they pushed it in like 2023, 2024, maybe 2025, but they feel like they've kind of walked that back a bit.
Yeah. I feel like they have a little bit as well, and they haven't really talked about it as much either because they were very kind of outspoken about that, and as of recent they haven't really said much about it. So I still feel like there's a WWE run in their future. Maybe not. Right. Maybe that's where they have like, if we're doing these retirement runs, right, like we did with John Cena, maybe that's where they do our retirement run. I don't
know. Maybe. Kyle, since we're getting locked down later in the summer, any chance they bring back the King of the Mountain match?
We haven't seen one of those in a while.
Yeah.
I think they even had one for the women some years ago for the knockouts, which I believe was maybe won by Jordan Grace. I'm not sure. But that's another. Yeah, that's another match that I would like to see kind of return to TNA.
Yeah, TNA has this unique little bit of callback nostalgia that they can lean on every now and then.
Yeah, like we're getting the return of Ultimate X soon in a couple of weeks.
I never do it left.
Every time they do it, because it's like a year apart from one another. So they always say it's a return, even though they kind of do it almost every year, maybe every 2 years. So you're right. Like it technically didn't leave. It just hasn't been around in a minute. Now, like something that actually left and hasn't been seen is Lockdown. That was like 10 years ago. So like that's huge for them to bring back Lockdown. I'm still interested to see where they what cage do they use? Do they use the 6-sided ring? I know the 6-sided ring hurts the wrestlers' bodies, but I mean, when you look at Lockdown, and I've been watching the old ones, when you look at Lockdown and you look at the perfection that the six-sided ring made that look, it's like, I kind of want y'all to bring back the 6-sided ring for one night.
Do you get the red cage with the dome on top and everything like that?
Right.
So they gotta crawl out of the hole. Like that was always the scariest thing because, I couldn't do that. But I'm glad we're in commercial break right now because I saw this from Almighty Pop. And who better than ask? Who better than Canyon is Ringsider Anthony for this question of, I'm curious to know your guys' opinion on TNA as a whole. Personally, I think Ring of Honor and even MLW has been better since the move to AMC.
Well, I can't really compare the three because I don't watch Ring of Honor. I also don't watch MLW as well. So I really can't compare. It wouldn't be a fair comparison to answer that question not watching the other two promotions. I'll say it like that.
Well, then your overall general census status on TNA right now a bit of a run under the AMC deal, has had a bit of the scuffle ruffle with AW NWA allegedly on a shooting Comet of getting higher TV ratings, if that matters. But overall, right now, how do you feel? What, a couple months into the AMC deal with TNA, how do you feel?
I mean, clearly there's been some like up and downs, like with uh the AMC run. I feel like more ups than downs, but there's been some hit or misses there. We obviously know like the majority of everyone hated the first episode on AMC,
Right.
but then they bounced back, right? And I think we've gotten some pretty good stories with the main, with the main world title with Steve Maclin and Mike Santana going at it for a better part of 2.5 months until we got to the match that didn't happen. But I personally really don't have any gripes about the whole TNA run on AMC. I've enjoyed the majority of it. Um, I mean, I think that's very clear. Every stream on here that I talk about
Right.
how much I enjoy TNA. Outside of that, I don't.
Are
I
they
don't really have
progressing
anything else to.
in, the right direction? Do you think that they're carving out their niche, carving out their lot in pro wrestling with
I
this?
think they are. I think they still have a lot of room to grow. I feel like one of the main things TNA can do to really make a name and put themselves out there more is to be live more. I thought they would be live at least a lot more than what they've provided for us this year. Obviously didn't think they were going to go every week, but I at least thought it would be like a once a month thing. And it seems like, but on the other hand, the recorded episodes have been better than any of the live episodes that they have produced. So it's a give or take thing there.
If it was me personally, if I had 5 minutes of time with Carlos Silva, um, move it up an hour. I'm not just saying that because I work early in the mornings and these getting out at 11s on a Thursday, is a little interesting. But I would move it a bit more into, most people know outside of when Monday Night Raw would run at nines on USA at times, of most people know like a wrestling show is going to happen from around 8 to 10. That's kind of been always its normal, regular kind of time slot. That's a better, I think, prime time slot. Move it up an hour, and I think you will see the numbers jump a bit.
No, I agree with you there. Like I was still pretty shocked when they announced the 9 p.m. hour at the beginning of the year, 9 to 11. And I've seen some people, and it's fair assessment. Some people say they just can't stay up to watch it. I mean, like you said, work.
It's a hard.
I
Rampage had
struggle
the
staying
issue.
up to
Rampage had the issue with following SmackDown. Not saying
exactly.
that following a wrestling show, but I just
Right.
watched the whole movie.
I mean, I stay up struggling watching anything throughout the week at this point.
You were struggling to stay up to make it to this stream.
Oh my gosh, yes. It would have been a whole Nick stream by himself tonight because I overslept.
My God, could they have taken it? Boston would have eaten me alive.
But I would prefer them. I know I was gung ho about the whole 9 o'clock thing at the beginning, and I still like it, but 8 p.m. that's the prime spot for a lot of television.
Is Vincent legit hurt because he's instantly going to taking off his boot?
Ooh.
And the refs, like, this is just really odd. So they're it looks like they're trying to check on Vincent.
Yeah, and then you got I think her name is Ingrid right there as well.
Oh, completely no cells in the boot. So that was just fucking weird to be weird.
Right?
That was very much Jack Perry coming out with a bag of onions and smashing his, during the middle of the brawl to start off Dynamite of smashing someone over the head with a sack of fucking onions. Like, just weird to be fucking weird.
Oh, wait, is he biting his foot? That's just nasty.
That nasty. Side effect. 1, 2. Hot take. Maybe not hot take. Matt Hardy V1 is an underrated gimmick of Matt Hardy's.
I don't think that's
I can slap a tornado.
I don't think that's a
fly up the sea.
Going for the twist of fate.
Oh, I got elbow in the back. Small package. Oh, that's smart of using Dutch in the corner because he grabs, Vincent's ankle to try and help.
Trying to get a little bit more leverage there on that pin.
See money with not doctor approved advice. I want to say, while WWE TNA is a rough patch, wrestling as a whole is growing, and I recommend you and viewers checking out Ring of Honor, CMLL, and New Japan if you have the time, of course. Well, Almighty Pop, you very much have found the place because we do that. We do that as much as we can from everything from GCW. I watch every show I see, from Wrestling A to Wrestling Z. Yeah.
If I struggle with adding a new streaming service. I would like to watch Ring of Honor really because of Deonna Purrazzo, but you have to have the Ring of Honor service to watch it. You can't really watch it anywhere free. But I mean, I have tapped into WSW because those 4 shows last weekend were incredible.
Right.
I've also tapped into MLP because they're about to have their weekly show. So I've been watching some of the shows that I didn't get a chance to watch over the past 6 months. And there's one other thing I've been watching.
Well, this is where I know AW suing Trevor. Oh, what did he just pull out? Oh, he's got a key. He's got the key from the ref to unlock Dutch. But Triller was a lot of, especially I know early on with us, of the access to House of Glory to indies we hadn't even heard. Lights Out.
I don't have Lights Out yet, but now I do. Is that I hear a scream? I hear a scream.
Why did I react like that for Willow?
I was just about to say that because I know you hate Willow, but it is Willow.
And the lights go on again. See, it's the instinctual thing. It's just like how on WrestleMania when Cody won, I didn't want Cody to win, but you instinctually just as a wrestling fan, yay, surprise! Ah.
When did Jeff Hardy get unhandcuffed? Because wasn't he cuffed at the post too?
Yes. 2, 3 as Matt wins.
1. Yeah, I'm a bit ahead of you. I mean, behind you for some reason.
Let me know when they get broken, Matt.
I got it.
Okay, so you're about a second or so. No, that match was a bit of weird just to be weird, I feel, of Vincent randomly sells his ankle. We randomly have Willowhausen, which I've never liked Willow, not even in the original run.
Willow.
I think people need to stop telling Jeff Hardy he's got a music career or anything. Like, Matt does all the actual creative shit. Jeff's an artist that just fucking finger paints. Yeah, Jeff's super talented in the ring, but he's not the artist. He's not the creative mind he thinks he is.
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to some Jeff Hardy songs. Yeah, not for me. We'll just say it like that. Not for me.
You don't like to just hear people clanging against pots and pans while they scream 10 feet away from a microphone?
Yeah.
That doesn't do it for you with music?
No, I don't. It doesn't. It does nothing for me. Does nothing for me at all. Well, this is a good question from Boston down here. Well, I can't click on it because my mouse is connected to the other computer. But what's the issue with Willow? So why do you not like Willow? I don't have this won't turn into a debate or an argument because I don't know much about Willow. So
fair enough.
Oh, we do have AJ Francis
AJ
and
Francis and Elijah. This is an
yeah.
interesting pairing. I'm a little bit, hip hop. I'm a little bit country. We
So we
want
can
collab.
collab a little bit.
I mean, this would be interesting. I like. Is it a step up for AJ Francis of going from Casey Navarro to having a feud with Elijah?
Oh, that's a big step up. That's a big step up.
Because I be interesting if they were any bit of a tag team or hey, of I watch your back, you watch my back. But as per wrestling, of I very much expect that this is going to end up where they have a match. You're the best big man in the
Yeah.
business.
He said it's just me and
Says,
my guitar.
no sound from who? From us? From you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, well, Spaz just keeps spamming no sound. So I'm like, who be hearing who? Yeah, so even so, looks like we're gonna end up with a match. If you're gonna regret that,
Yeah. I mean, they've had a match before. I know they had the match at the Atlanta tapings. That was fun to see because Elijah hit like a Canadian destroyer from the top rope
as they
type
just
deal.
AJ Francis and Casey Navarro both out.
Mm.
Interesting. We just saw
We just saw
AJ
that
Francis.
backstage segment.
Yeah, Moose is still out. That's a
Yeah.
big step
And they
up.
did confirm it's the system that took him out.
Right. Do you watch WoW Women's Wrestling?
I do off and on. It's hard for me to catch it. I believe it airs on the CW here in Atlanta like at midnight on like Saturdays, I think. It's hard for me to catch it. There was at one point where I was kind of recording all of the episodes and trying to catch up, which that was very, very hard to do.
Right.
I like Wild Women of Wrestling because of the overtop characters. Like every women's wrestler there is like over the top in their characters, and I really like that.
It's very the 80s glow vibes like they did
Yeah,
before.
yeah,
Of it is a bit there is so much good wrestling going on, which again is, first world problem as a wrestling fan. If there's so much good wrestling out there, or so much wrestling content to try and catch it all, you would have to do it as like a full-time job.
exactly.
And
So
I'm not
like
even talking about making content. I'm saying just getting paid
no,
to
just
watch
watching
it.
wrestling in general. Yeah, just watching wrestling in general. So like I do catch it from time to time. Like the last like episode I watched, I think the Beast dropped the title, the Wild Women of Wrestling World title.
Yeah,
And I was a big fan of the Beast because she was dominating everybody in Wild Women of Wrestling. And I think that's where I like ended, and I have to kind of catch up again.
right. Well, Frankie, I see why Anthony enjoys TNA a little more. The stories actually exist. They do exist.
Yeah. I think I talked about that a little bit last week too, where like WWE has some great stories. They've always had really good stories, and it's kind of easy to follow along. Same thing with TNA. Like TNA has some good stories at times, and it's easy to kind of it's easy to kind of break their stories down. I mean, if you follow me on TikTok or on Instagram, and sometimes here on the channel when I have to refresh Nick's brain, like I think he said last week, I didn't even know that happened. Like I can break down a TNA story that's been going on for like 6 to 7 months. So
This man's got the files. He's got the pins and the rope and yarn tying everything
exactly.
together.
So that's a good portion of why I like TNA is because of the stories I'm not saying every story is great, even the bad stories I can break down. But like the stories do exist. And I wish they had that a little bit more in AEW. Like I feel like AEW has great wrestling, but it's very, very hard to follow any type of story that they try to put out there for us.
It's at times a bit all over the place, but Danny
Yeah.
saying Max Kruger has left MLW. Cannot confirm nor deny, but that would be very interesting. Um, I think he'd be a guy that's more GCW bound. I don't know where he'd just go back and float amongst the indies, if anything. I don't think Kruger wouldn't get too much of a run, I think, from an AEW or WWE, respectfully. Maybe a TNA if they want to do something like an Abyss angle. But he's a guy that I think he's talented, but his gimmick and everything is not Netflix, WWE right now, is not TBS, Time Warner, AEW. No, doesn't mesh well with either of those two.
I'm not familiar who Max Kruger is.
He was part of Contra with Jacob Fatu for a bit. He was the one that there was the alleged incident involving a fan and, the thing and poke at an independent show and everything that may or may not have happened. So he's kind of one of those that's very much known on the independent scene and as a bigger guy. Like, he's one of the bigger, more established guys in MLW.
Okay.
So if you don't watch it, like you said, you may not know, but like I said, the most where people would recognize him from is he was in Contra with Jacob Fatu when Jacob was in MLW.
Ah, okay. I am going to eventually start watching MLW. I think their show Fusion comes back next weekend on YouTube. So I definitely am going to. I just can't pay for any more streaming services right now, so that's the reason why I don't watch Ring of Honor.
I really do like MLW, but their shows are they're like TNA before the AMC deal. A little bit of their shows are a bit so sporadic.
Yeah.
And trying to track them down and what's the latest up to date and everything like that. Boston, I tried telling Nick that last night about MLW Fusion, but he ignored it twice. I was the passenger princess. I'm not normally on Wednesdays. So don't be mad at me.
Passenger princess. Oh.
No.
Okay, so the Champions Challenge comes back next week.
I try and keep up as much because Karrion Kross is your MLW world champion out there. I try and keep up with MLW. Yeah. I would love if MLW got a bit closer to what a TNA has, or even if it's still on YouTube, but have a bit to where you reset, you start like a live episode, and you have a couple tapings, and then you go to a live and all of that.
Oh no, yeah, I feel you there. And maybe their MLW is coming around. You mentioned Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross is the current WSW world champion. Who did he beat to win that title?
Moose.
Yes, I think it was Moose. Yeah. So yeah, there's really some cool wrestling out there. And I think I discovered WSW on a whim there. I turned it on a Friday and it was on, and man, it was
sometimes the algorithm just blesses you.
Exactly.
And folks, you can bless us with helping out that algorithm by making sure you hit that like, share, subscribe, hit all the bell notifications, make sure it's turned to always, hit all the little emojis. We got everything to, keep you entertained while we're reading and rambling. But yes.
Right. So next week, before we get back into the next match is the international title match. Next week, TNA is bringing back the championship challenge where there's champions on one side of the ring, and then there's TNA All-Stars on the opposite side of the ring in a huge, I think it's a 5-person tag team match. So that returns next week. I'm assuming they're pushing the Wicked Garden match maybe another week, but I'm excited. They need to hurry up and showcase that.
Well, it's interesting because they teased it. We all knew it was happening. And that's at times where it gets weird, where you're teasing a match that's more for the live crowd because you've got to sell the seats. But at the same time, the fans want to see it. The people watching the TV show week in and week out, I want to see it too.
Right. It's like, when I was there for the Bear Bronson Moose match, and I'm like, I talked this up for weeks, and it was the last of those official tapings. It's like, just go ahead and do it, please.
Right. I'm telling you, I swear, Optimus wins in the end.
So yes, we do have the international championship matchup next. We got Mustafa Ali defending against Chaz Starboy Hall. Did I say that correctly?
Starboy Charlie. Starboy Charlie. Oh yes.
Starboy Charlie. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
that's more of what he went by on. Yeah, it's Chaz Starboy Hall, but that's anyone who watched him on the Indies, especially like I know we watched him very much in GCW. That's Starboy Charlie. That will always be Starboy Charlie.
Okay.
It's
That's
he
better
was
to
one of
say than
those.
the other name.
Yeah, 100%. Well, it's very much. If Xia Li's much easier than Yang Li. I still like.
It's the
All
truth,
I have to
though.
say
I
is like, don't
agree.
be offensive. Don't be offensive. Don't be offensive. Yeah. This dude is sassy Mike Whipwreck. I'll bet. It's very much the vibe. But Mustafa out here, the episodes will be airing on YouTube. Yeah, but they're like 3 months behind, though. That's the thing. Like, I can probably already find out what's happening on, the episodes of MLW Fusion, and they're 2 weeks old tweets.
No, you're right about that because I do know like someone who went to, excuse me, went to MLW just a couple of weeks ago. I think they did some tapings. That was in Memphis, maybe Tennessee. And we still haven't really gotten the start of the weekly show. So I get what you're saying.
Right. Well, yeah, even Taco out there, Small Mark mentioned on Twitch, the pre-tapes are so far in advance. It's like the NWA. Like the NWA, we work the Crockett Cup channel every year habitually. Like it was a thing we made a moment about. And now the NWA has just slid so far into obscurity. I'm surprised that they're, claiming the viewership that they claim.
Yeah, and then with NWA, they are on this channel called Comment. I don't know if everybody gets it. I do get it here in Atlanta. I think the weird time slot is being in the afternoon. Like the show airs at 4 p.m. and it's like on a Saturday.
Throw it on for kids at a preschool and just can let them watch it.
Exactly. It's one of those type of shows where you get home from school and you just turn on the TV and you see that on, right. Being at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. But I did catch the first 2 episodes that they showed, and it was pretty fun, I would say. But I haven't really went back since it's like 4 in the afternoon when it comes on.
Right. Starboy with a schoolboy. As we are on the way, folks, so let us know who you got for this match. Excuse me. Starboy had a great debut on NXT. I was hoping to see him there more, but TNA needs him more. But he's currently the WWE ID program, which is, for those who don't know or don't remember, it's pretty much like WWE's NIL program for the independent wrestling scene of you're not technically under us, but we're going to pay you and kind of help you and kind of promote you a bit. So that's why you see WWE ID programs show up on Evolve. That's why, I think that's part of, no disrespect, why Starboy is here, of him probably being in the ID program helped him get the spot, but he's super talented. He's a guy that I could see, especially now with all the turnover in NXT, could see him there fully.
Wow, that was a cool arm drag he did from the top.
I forget that you haven't watched this guy before, so like I'm as handspring moonsault over the top rope. That's the thing, is like it's so funny. I'm like a proud papa. This reminds me again when you asked in the group chat about like PWG and everything. Oh, I'm so used to Starboy that I'm like, this is gonna be a great match.
Yeah.
You're just so focused, and I love it. But no, that's some cool, actual, true wrestling fan shit.
That was a nice cutter from the top.
But when you watch someone that gets to watch a wrestler that they haven't seen before,
yeah,
and see how talented they are, that's some cool shit to see. Like,
yeah,
more of that in the wrestling space instead of this gatekeeping bullshit of like, oh, you don't know about Starboy Charlie, you fucking Mark, you idiot, you don't watch wrestling, you're not a wrestling fan.
I think that's the worst part of the worst part of the internet wrestling fan sometimes. I've gone on record, like just earlier in the stream, like when you brought up someone that left MLW, like I'm gonna tell you straight up, I don't know who that person is. I'm not going to fake like I know who that person is.
Right.
A good instance is Mance Warner when he showed up in TNA and you popped, and I was like, "Who is this guy? I don't know who he is."
Right.
But I'm not going to fake something because to get people to watch us. Like I'm gonna just be straight up honest. I don't know who this person is.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is that's why I prefer, and I think again, we've been a prime example of it, of I'd rather watch, like, rather us each, like, it's much cooler to see someone find a wrestler that they haven't seen before and appreciate their talent than sit there.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know? How don't you know? Do some research. You're not a real wrestling fan.
Oh,
Yeah.
he did a backflip into like a tornado DDT.
The straps is down. Starboy running wild. Cosmic Slam. 1, 2.
I need to. Can they replay that move again? that was sick.
He 100% screams X Division champ to me.
Exactly.
Starboy Hall instead of Charlie is a whiff. Yeah. Oh, face smack. Allen.
Ooh, super kick.
Right. Taco saying exclusive. Da-da-da. Ooh.
That was a unique pin.
But he had to go to a bridging pin to beat him. Like, how to go pull one out of the bag.
Yeah, he had to pull that one deep from his arsenal. I want to see that impressive DDT again, though. If they're not going to replay it, then I'm gonna have to see it after the stream on that TNA Plus app.
Oh, I can't wait. I feel like this whole thing is just going to be you sending me clips of us reacting to Starboy Charlie right now.
Like, it was a backflip into a DDT. Like,
he went backwards and forwards at the same damn time. I done never seen it before.
Wonder who steps up to Mustafa Ali next.
But imagine this is what you have in the middle of your TNA shows. If you got your Leons, you add a Starboy, you've got Mustafa Ali, like your Elijah's, your AJ Francis's, all of this. Like, people have really kind of slept on TNA's roster. Cedric Alexander out there. We were talking earlier about, is that best Cedric now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got guys like Trey Miguel as well. I mean, yeah, people sleep on the TNA roster, honestly. They have some good talent there.
Right. But, Keith Jardine again. So we clearly didn't know here again. Should I gatekeep UFC fandom? Because I'm sure you don't know who Keith Jardine is.
I definitely don't know. Oh, Mara Sade. At least I know who she is.
I would like to know her a bit more, but I digress. The Dean Amin, of one of those guys that was very much of like the Chuck Liddell era, the light heavyweight, early starts of UFC. Yes, that's where he was in that kind of division and had some wars with him. It's, he's that guy. Might have been a light heavyweight champ at one point, but I want to respectfully say, like, a C or D list celebrity that TNA normally gets.
Yeah.
They don't get the A's. They don't get the B's.
They don't get the C's and B's. Yeah. I mean, we did have what is his name?
Perez Hilton. We had Mama June. We've had
the country singer. The country singer that's been showing up in WWE. I cannot think of his name.
Jelly Roll.
Yes,
Jelly Roll.
We did get Jelly Roll at Rebellion. I think it was Rebellion.
In the crowd for 10 seconds. That's the most.
But that's the most of an A-lister that we've got
with. Literally and figuratively. But Almighty Pop, I'm gonna read this before I might take a pop myself here, sir. If that's cool with you. But Yo Nick, thanks a bunch for explaining that WWE ID explanation. That's something that's yeah, they didn't do the best job, much like with the John Cena announcement, of explaining what they're actually fucking doing. But to my best understanding, is that they're basically like they have the NIL program, name, image, and likeness deal, like most college universities have with their athletes.
Yeah.
WWE has that with some college athletes as well. Like they pay an NIL deal to college athletes, hoping to get them into WWE, a la Oba Femi, Trick Williams, etc. Ish. Um, they also the WWE ID program is basically that on the independent scene of we're going to
Mm.
back you like a Cappuccino Jones, Sean Legacy, etc. Jack Hartwell were the initial kind of WWE ID group of we're going to try and back you, we'll promote you, we'll do this, we'll do the best to try and help your career, but you're not officially a WWE talent, to my
Yeah.
knowledge.
Yeah. No, I think you're right there. It's WWE has a lot going on with like the independent scene and everything, so it is kind of difficult to kind of follow what they're doing.
Well, you got now like Zeta Steel. Well, I still ultimately, folks, pay attention to your independent wrestling scene. Of trust me, there is very much, independent wrestling is still surviving and thriving, and now especially with these releases, I don't know if we might see AW releases with
Yeah.
the Paramount purchase, or anything, but with even how you feel about the WWE releases, support the talent where they end up. Like Zoe Starks has already found a new name. We don't know what's going to happen with the New Day or Tongalo or Jeff Cobb or anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean it's interesting to see what happens over the next couple of months with a lot of those releases there.
Right. Well, I'll let you talk about MJF because he's my favorite, but at least MJF's been very vocal about one of those recent releases. So I'm going to go release myself for a minute.
So as Nick takes a pause here, MJF has said a lot over the past couple of days. I know he backtracked a lot of the things he said about TNA, which I was kind of shocked about that he did. I'm going to go up through the chat a little bit here. There was a couple of things that I wanted to click on. One from Almighty Pop. He said, Anthony, to follow what you're saying as far as AEW stories, we talked about AEW stories earlier. Something I realized is that their stories are spread all through all shows, and yeah, I think that's why it's so hard to follow. Like some of the stories cross over between Dynamite and Collision, and some stories in Ring of Honor too. I think that's why it's kind of hard to follow, and it's not like all one storyline is not prevalent on one show specifically. So I kind of agree with you there. Have been trying to keep up with Collision the best I can. Collision has been fun over the past I would say about 2 months. Collision has been very, very fun to watch on a weekly basis. So I just wanted to touch on that comment. I know Frankie up here mentioned that he's been watching Collision too, and I think one of his comments from earlier said that that he's actually done with Dynamite. If I can remember one of your comments from earlier, Taco talked about the hate for There's been a lot of hate for TNA on social media, specifically on X, over the past couple of weeks. I've actually myself kind of distanced myself a little bit from the toxicity that's been coming out about TNA over the past couple of weeks, especially from some people that that are kind of big in the TNA space when it comes to content creation and podcasts. It's just been a lot going on. TNA is back from commercial break. We got Steve Maclin and Eric Young. Eric Young said, I offered you something special. And he said, out of selfishness, you turned it down, which means to me, he's talking about the cleanse, which we haven't had any type of interaction with these two in a minute. He said he found his way back and he became the Maclin that he saw. Yeah. So he said Mike Santana sent you to the hospital, tried to take away your life. And Maclin just seems pretty focused right now. So he's saying if you win, you're going to have to face me at my best, basically. Makes makes me wonder if he is really going to be a part of the cleanse whenever officially starts, because it feels like it's just been I feel like it's been going on for a minute. But he said, "Win or lose is your choice. Your fate is in your hands." So this has to be something dealing with the cleanse, I would assume. He said, "Maybe if you lose tonight, you disappear again, or I make you disappear." I think Eric Young is definitely getting himself involved in this match tonight. That was a lot said by Eric Young with what's his name, Steve Maclin, just staring straight ahead. So now we got Jada Stone versus, I believe she's facing Zaya Brookside tonight. Let me put that up here on the slide. Um, yeah, so it is Zaya Brookside versus Jada Stone. If you haven't seen Jada Stone versus M by Elegance on Explosion, Explosion is free to watch on YouTube. Go watch that match. It was actually really, really good. So we were talking about going back to the chat here. We were talking about A-listers. If we do we consider Honey Boo Boo an A-lister star showing up in TNA? I don't know. Y'all let me know. Boston says, "Oh, they explain exactly what they're doing with the John Cena Classic. Cena gave immense details on it. It's just trash. Absolutely, it makes no sense at all." Um, Damien says all of TNA's champions versus TNA All Stars next week on TNA. Yes, that is the championship. I think they call it the championship challenge. So that goes down. That goes down next week. I'm excited for that. I always like that match. This would be the third one I think they've done. So I've always really enjoyed that match. Almighty says, "Hey, did you guys notice MLP's next event is set on the same day that WWE release stars are able to work again?" Um, Is it this same day? Because I thought it was 90 days. I don't know. Almighty, you let me know. Um, as I try to go through the chat here, Ken says, "Was EC3 just a one-off?" It seems like it was just a one-off. He's not even on the roster page. So um yeah, I don't know. I don't know. They're announcing some of the matches next week. Sorry, I took a pause there. So there's a championship challenge next week. There's also a knockouts championship challenge next week as well. So that means the knockouts champion will be teaming up with the knockouts tag team champions to face. I'm assuming it will be 3 knockouts. So we'll see that next week. Damien says Stacks versus Santino is official for next week. I haven't seen that pop up yet, but maybe it's on Twitter, I would assume, because that's where they kind of announce some of their matches. Um, as we get the start of Zaya Brookside um, versus Jada Stone, who you got winning? Drop it in the chat. Ronan has Zaya Brookside. Damien says Zaya Brookside. I feel like Zaya Brookside is winning too. Jada Stone's been on a roll though, so I'm interested to see what they potentially do with Jada Stone. Hopefully, she's in line for the knockouts title. Not soon, but maybe beginning of next year. You kind of push her into that knockouts title scene. We still kind of got to get through Zaya Brookside, Lei Ying Lee. Mara Sade is a good shout to win the knockouts title too. So there's a lot going on there. Damien is also saying that Fabian Eichner will take on Eddie Edwards next week. So I'm assuming all of this is on Twitter. I'm trying to pull up Twitter to see if some of this is factual information, which I don't think Damien would lie here. But I'm pretty sure we do know the championship challenge matches are going on next week. So I'm excited for that. Yes, I did. As I go through the chat here, I did forget about Tessa is one. That's that's a choice there to put Tessa in the main event scene. I know there's fans. I kind of want to see it. I know there's fans on Twitter that want to see it. So, Taco says we need Bailey to pop in and help Indy Hartwell shut down Daria. I hope we get some interaction with Bailey in TNA. Like I said, it's been heavily hinted on social media over the past week or so. Bailey and some of the TNA roster has been kind of going at it. I believe Tom Hannafin called her a coward, like coward just show up in TNA. So yeah, maybe that would happen. Taco says, Anthony, would you welcome Masha Slamovich back in TNA after Masha Slamovich gets the help she needs from the things that were brought to our attention? I've said it multiple times on this channel. I think I've said it about Tessa Blanchard too, and some others that I personally believe in the power of second chances. After Masha Slamovich sorts through some of the things that she's went through, and things that she has caused, it can potentially lead to her returning back to TNA. Again, I do believe I'm a big believer in second chances. That's just me personally. That's not the beliefs of the channel. That's just how I kind of feel. So maybe one day.
Well,
as
maybe
Big Nick
one day
returns on that big segue of
Masha
Masha Slamovich.
What?
I said as Big Nick returns from the big segue from Masha Slamovich.
Yeah, no, I was saying, well, maybe one day you'll give me a second chance. But yeah, that's a very interesting topic because I still don't think we know how that's going to play out. As I've seen it kind of go, and again, a bit of what we were talking about with the Eichner situation, it very much dissipated. That conversation has gone a bit away. So I don't know if there would be this public backlash if she showed up.
With the Masha thing, as quickly as it happened, I think it was quicker that it went away. Like it wasn't talked about much at all, right? To me, like it came out, people said what they had to say, and now like no one talks about it. So it's interesting. I really like what Masha brought to TNA. I like the matches that she had with Jordan Grace.
She's talented as hell.
She's very, very talented. But things happened, and I would first want whoever it is to get what they need, the help that they deserve, and then potentially maybe show back up.
Right. Well, speaking of somebody who needs help, Roto, bring it up. Does anybody know where Alberto Del Rio is? That's a man who needs help and to be locked up.
Didn't he just get arrested again?
I'm locked up, won't let me out. Yeah, no, that's a guy that very much had the potential and just went down all the wrong pathways.
Yeah.
And I couldn't happen to a worse guy.
Right hand by Jada there.
Oh, cameraman gets a W with that shot of Jada Stone there.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Zaya Brookside. I don't get the heel turn. She barely works for me as a babyface. She feels very green. And again, like we talked about earlier with some talent, she can get by without her in-ring getting better.
I mean, every wrestler is not for, everyone. Like, I'm not like the biggest fan. Split-legged moonsault.
1, to kick out.
Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Zaya Brookside. I mean, I like, kind of what she I like her more as a face, because she gives that just face happy go lucky vibes.
Bubbly person.
Yeah,
She's
we
very
haven't
Brinley
seen
Reese.
yeah, we haven't seen much from her heel. She's only been a heel, maybe a month-ish, a month and a half. Haven't seen much from that. So I kind of need to see how this leads down the line. But that was a nice kind of code breaker by Jada.
Right. But no, I know I just said it. Oh, that was heavy sell on the knee.
Yeah.
But Saya's like Alexa before the heel turn. 3 count.
Exactly. Like, she gives off like pre Alexa before she
The
did the
cheerleader
goddess
with Buddy
gimmick.
Murphy and Wesley Blake.
Yeah. She gives that vibe.
But very much agree with this. Russell Rand saying Alberto exactly where he needs to be. And I did. So I know I heard you all. I was on my pause of Stacks versus Santino is confirmed. I saw that on Twitter from Dario Ray. That's confirmed for next week. I don't fully remember the other match that was mentioned.
Eddie Edwards versus Eichner.
Yeah, I couldn't confirm that one, but I can confirm that Stacks versus Santino.
Okay. I think we kind of knew Stacks versus Santino was happening.
Well, was it going to be that, or was it going to be a mixed tag? Does one lead to the other?
Oh,
up next, you better run.
Yeah, I need to run. I need to go take a pause before we get this.
Yeah, this man's going to be on the clock now as we're getting Maclin and Santana face to face backstage. So, Anthony, going to take a pause for the cause. Run, sir.
Trying to.
There we go. Man couldn't even fix the things. I did it. We got it. But yes, very much so. Up next, we're getting the main event of the evening of Mike Santana versus Steve Maclin. And yes, very much co-main event. We showed people out there. But yeah, I think that this is the best top feud. These are the best top 2 talents that I think TNA has currently. And I really wish that this was on the live episode instead of the taped episode. Like, if you had it there, why not do it live? Because not saying which TNA has been good of, no spoilers have been an issue. But I would have felt more anybody could win if it was a live versus a taped one. Just saying, might just be me, but you had him in the building. Do the battle royal on a fucking taped one, especially if you might have a new world champion, do a battle royal, and then it really feels like anybody could fucking win it. It's minor indifferences that I feel, but I feel they matter in the sum of the parts. But smile. Side Brookside needs a bodyguard like an Awesome Kong. She needs a heavy, or some muscle. Like you're saying, she needs an HBK. She needs a Big Daddy Cool. She needs a cooler, some muscle. Brinley Reese to me was a better babyface and doing pretty much the same gimmick and could have done it. Thea Hale's been light years ahead of basically doing what Side Brookside does. I don't buy her as an actual title challenger. I'm not a fan. I don't know I think it's just more of there's 3 to 4 other people that I can name quickly off the top of my head does Carmen Petrovich. I know it's not exactly the bubbly baby face, but what I would rather see Carmen Petrovich, who's not getting used in NXT, have her take on Xia Li for the knockout title than I would be running it back with Xia Brookside. She doesn't sunshine and sparkle with me, and I feel like she's somebody that knows what that means. Nick, thoughts on the 10-man tag match announced between Big Boom, I saw this. Breathe. Shane Taylor Promotion should win this. far and away. Shane Taylor Promotions is up there with one of the best things that you're doing in Ring of Honor. If you were going to actually put Ring of Honor on a YouTube, try and get a TV deal or anything, Shane Taylor Promotions should be a big part of that. If you're not, Shane Taylor Promotions is something I would like to see moved up. If you're going to do this gang warfare of the Ops, the Dark State, the Death Riders, throw Shane Taylor Promotions into that. Give me John Moxley, Shane Taylor, and Samoa Joe, and that's a fucking Ring of Honor. That's an indie dream match. I love Shane Taylor Promotions. Pause. The conglomeration with Bloom and Doom and QT and AJ, we got to get him on the card just because I guess we signed him to a deal of those Costco cookies cost a fortune. I don't know. The wrestler should win the wrestling match with that. Shane Taylor Promotions, the built together group, should win the group match. It should go that way. We expected Tony's going to add a bunch of shit to the buy-in, especially. Is Mick going to be doing commentary for all of this? Or is he going to be, what is Mick's going to role be? That's what I'm more curious. Hey, I haven't even actually talked to Anthony about that. But I hope it goes Shane Taylor Promotions way. I'll leave it at that. And we expected that we're going to get a good bit on the buy-in. I'm more okay that it's on the buy-in than adding more to the live show. Just keep it on the pre-show and we're all good. WWE should be dismantled. Daniel, that's aggressive. And how all wrestlers should wear knee pads and elbow pads and tape wrist and MMA style gloves as basic health and safety. MDB, is this you? Did you find a brethren in the knee pad society out here? Well, I've got Stacks and Grace. But so we've got to go, 10-ounce gloves. We've got to complete, everything's a shoot, brother. WCW versus NWO was the best times. It wasn't a bad time, I'll give you that. Hold up, the Costco dorks are still, yes, the Big Boom AJ is out there, still going to be involved in the buy-in for AEW's second biggest show of the year, Double or Nothing. Taking on Shane Taylor Promotions, who again should win. So we're getting the tail of the tape of both men, 6'1", slight weight advantage for Santana. They're even breaking down the accolades. I dig this of very much showing and establishing, hey, we got a heavyweight slugfest about to happen right now. And again, you had the man in the building. Why didn't you do it on the live one? Spaz with a $5. There's a Saturday Night's Main Event preview up now, as well as a clip that is not all controversial and won't make the mud flakes crash out at all. I'm totally serious. Well, there you go. Yeah, I very much am starting to realize there's a lot of people that are just doing performative pieces on Twitter. Well, you don't really believe that. You don't really think that. You are just saying that because engagement and authenticity is a lost art, and it needs to be held in higher regard. But I digress. He's Bulletproof Steve Maclin. He's 100% a guy that on any given day could be your world champion. And that's still, to me, he is the biggest example of got released from WWE, was in a nothing faction, the Forgotten Sons, and took the fucking wrestling world by the balls. I think guys now like Cross are starting to do that. I guess allegedly Baron Corbin, if they want him back, but you're seeing people that now are establishing that WWE is not the pinnacle, that you can make yourself outside of their system. Megan Bay and Elayna Cross, yeah, did see that. Zeta Steel, I did have a discussion with somebody on Twitter of that's why explain the whole WWE ID program because they were very much trying to. Oh, she got married. No, she was part of the WWE ID, and she was an undrafted free agent. You were on the practice squad, kind of shit. You didn't make the roster. Sorry. And not to knock what she's accomplished. It's just one of those that didn't work out. So don't paint the team bad because they can cut you. Spaz. Oh, Nick, I believe what I say. I'm just also aware that a lot of it isn't popular, and that's okay. Fair. No, but again, trust me, as someone who says shit that ain't popular, you gotta be able to take them slings and arrows. Not saying you ain't, but it's being able to have the discussion without getting to, throwing hands in an elevator or throwing insults back and forth and having an actual discussion about it. It is more where I'm always at with everything. Like, I'm sorry if you don't like the way I have a conversation. Not saying you are, Spaz, but I'm willing to have the conversation. You may not like how I have the conversation, but I'm willing to have the conversation. As this is big fight can feel right now. Let me know, folks, who you've got. And I know I've said it's taped and all that, but still. So you're saying there's a chance. Let me know who you got. Mike Santana or Steve Maclin. As I'm waiting for this man to be running back to the monitor right now. Oh, we got a commercial. Anthony, you got a couple minutes. Breathe. Nick, we're gonna get you on the pod one day. Hashtag goals. I'm down for whatever, pause. But it's one of those. Trust. I still gotta do something with geek boxes. I'm always open for the opportunities, but trust me, everybody here knows I'll talk a lot. It's finding the times when I don't talk that I got to talk. I don't know. That randomly started to go a different way. But I've got Ric Flair's commercial, and I love how everyone instantly started going into with the whole Ludwig thing. So this is just what happened. You just saw Ric Flair in an elevator and just went at him. Oh, hey, Rick, remember, I'm just a knot on the wall, right? Polo! What up? What up, Ryan? Shout out. I love you too. I love you too. Almighty, here's a thought. I know it'll never happen, but wouldn't it be cool if Santana answers Trick's open challenge? Never say never, my guy. That's a fucking. I don't know if Trick has an open challenge right now. Currently, I mean, can everybody in wrestling seems to have one, but that would be really cool. And hey, they got history. Trick done won that, TNA title off of Santana before all of that. Did he win it off of him or did he win it off of Kazarian? Timelines are matching up. But 100%, I do think that A, that could be a thing. B, that would very much be probably your best way. I'll say when versus if Mike Santana signs with WWE. That's how you bring him in. He beat Santana. See, I remember things. I remember things so much, I question if I remember things. I love Lamp. Brick killed the guy. He threw a trident. I love Lamp. Yeah. Lord, I am Lord. But no, that's an idea I never even really thought about. That's a fantastic way. If you were going to bring in Mike Santana as a signed, even an unsigned WWE talent, a one-off, if Trick did an open challenge or, hey, you're going to fight a mystery opponent. Doesn't have to be an open challenge. Could just be an open challenge for the evening because, again, everybody in goddamn wrestling is doing an open challenge right now. But you have a Mike Santana show up and challenge Trick Williams. You'd almost be thinking that maybe Santana might win. Now, with Trick getting cheered so much, who are you turning Trick heel at that moment? Because, and even then, how would the WWE fans react? The NXT fans might react a different way. We might react a different way. But does your casual, regular wrestling fan know and or make the connection with Mike Santana and Trick Williams? Questions to be considered. We need a miss on the 6 Feet Under podcast. That would actually be really interesting because I don't know if Joseph Parks has ever really done any bit of an actual heel or Christ heel because I was reading Polo's comment of any sort of podcast or really talked about. The most I've seen him do it is when he was AJ Styles' attorney, and then when he was getting yelled at by Bruce Pritchard. I might be getting yelled at by this man, but I don't think his name is Bruce Pritchard.
All right, I've made it back in time for the main event.
I was going to say the commercial break saved you.
Oh man, I'm excited for this one. I am excited for this one. We've been waiting for this for like 2 months, so should be a good one.
Polo, what up? No, I got you. Well, you got to get Anthony out there too. 100% of Wrestling for Life, Square Circle Boys. The worlds collide. It's DX versus the NWO. But this got brought up briefly, and I'll say this quickly. While you on your pauses, we got ding ding bell ring of if a Mike Santana were to ever show up on WWE TV and answer an open challenge for Trick. Have you ever got Santana versus Trick on a WWE stage? How would you feel? U.S. title on the line.
That would be cool. I mean, you run back their history in TNA, right?
But the casuals know it. We know it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's something easily you could do and run back real quick. Oh,
drop down. Oh, barely made that up over. Big elbow from Maclin.
This match is already starting off pretty fast.
But this instantly feels like this is a little bit like Backlash. How Backlash we were getting all the matches we could have gotten on WrestleMania that we didn't. This feels like we're going to get the match at what was the last TNA what was the pay-per-view that they were the main event for the title?
That they were supposed to wrestle for the title?
Well, to where Maclin got knocked out.
That was Sacrifice.
So we're going to get the match they wanted to have at Sacrifice tonight.
Yeah, on free TV, basically. So, and they've had more of 2 months to plan it now, I mean, and they're really taking it to one another real quick. But like speaking of Backlash, I'm not gonna lie, I watched Backlash in its entirety. And that was a fun show. That was really good.
I think WWE's doing better at trimming down the ads and the pump and the circumstance a little bit and getting better to the in-ring stuff. Tosses that man. But now bit of what I was talking about while you on your pause. So now should Mike Santana then, do an open challenge next week and the week after and the week after and the week after? I've heard, according to Twitter, that's how you get your world title over, is you just have an open challenge every week all the time.
I am so over the open challenges. I don't need to see Mike Santana doing that at all. Mike Santana does a splash from the top ropes. Crowd is really behind Santana tonight.
Well, think about it too. We're out there in I'm trying to remember. It's not Santa. It's in California because they had the Sacktown. They're in Sacramento, California.
Yeah,
because they had a Sacktown street fight last week.
Oh,
Damien, who is the baby face or heel in the Death Riders versus the Ops match on Saturday? Us.
Oh, wait, this is not, he's pulling out a table. This is not a no DQ match.
Even the commentary mentioned like what EY said. If he gets disqualified, it might just disappear all over again. Like
exactly. And then EY said, you know, you have a choice. Either like you disappear or I make you disappear or something to that effect. It's
right?
crazy.
Well, we still don't. Leapfrog.
Ooh.
Oh, he pulled a hammy. Oh,
Yeah, he looks like he got injured there.
yeah, but that was still like that time perfectly. I think that was a
It
perfect
was.
spell of
Yeah.
hey, oh, my hamstring. Oh, I sweep the leg, Danielson.
And, like Maclin was right on top of that.
Right. Sean reminding everybody, smash that like button. Philip saying it was a great show. Were you at the tapings? Are you saying we're a really great show?
Yeah, which one? Do you live in Canada and you saw the ending of this already? You know,
spoiler alerts.
that
That's why
could be
KJ never shows up on Thursdays now because he'd have to come back from the space-time continuum to
exactly
watch the shows. Look, I appreciate Tommy Dreamer's contributions to TNA, but hear me out. AJ and Abyss running TNA would be peak. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I can.
Maybe that is the whole creative team. I think that it's TNA's creative's always been the big quandary, the big conundrum.
Yeah. Like we never truly, and I shouldn't say we never, but I can say like over the past 2 years, 3 years, we don't really know who technically is running, you know, the creative. We hear Tommy Dreamer, we hear Carlos has input. Like who technically is it? Now we knew when it was Scott D'Amore, it was Scott D'Amore, but over the last couple of years, we just don't know.
But we've gone from the Vince Russos to the Dutch Mantels to, you know,
the guy
Jim
that
Cornette even were involved to the Terry Taylor's to Dixie Carter to Jeff Jarrett to Scott D'Amore to Carlos Silva. Like
there was some dude.
Sorry.
There was some dude that was creative. I think he owns NWA now, but he was
Billy Corgan.
Yeah, Billy Corgan.
He was part of that.
Yeah,
and he was owed money. I think Road Dogg and Co. were part of this at one point or whatever.
Yeah.
Father James Mitchell was on the creative team at one point. It has been a giant kind of hodgepodge a bit throughout all of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's been a clear and consensus voice, but I do think that a lot of the talent, like an AJ and a Joseph Parks, and maybe a Tommy, just to kind of they all balance each other out, would be an interesting if you actually had a true creative team. Instead of right now, the most I know is it's Carlos Silva and Anthem Sports.
Yeah, and Tommy Dreamer. Yeah, that's kind of all we know, and we just but we really don't know like who's really head of creative. Is it Tommy Dreamer? Is it Anthem? Is it Carlos? It's like I feel like we need. I like the idea that Taco has thrown out here, AJ and Abyss. Unfortunately, they're both in WWE still. So it's a pipe dream, but that would be cool.
I will say this. I don't need to know who's in charge of the creative team, but I think that those minds together on the creative team would be a bit of what's best for TNA.
No, I
didn't expect Undertaker being El Lucha Libre King out there in AAA.
Right? Yeah, I don't think anybody expected that. And Undertaker is putting out some good AAA content.
I still think it's just a mob job. He is just a figurehead. He is just there to collect a paycheck.
If it is, it's a good person to be that head guy. If it is,
you're gonna tell the Undertaker to his face. Everybody asking, are you gonna tell the Undertaker to his face you don't book AAA?
Exactly.
Spaz with another $5. Tony, after NXT took so many TNA titles, sorry, not sorry. What? Would TNA getting a Raw or SmackDown title? No. Why are we doing that? They get an NXT title back.
No,
TNA get back or get backs.
TNA just needs to get the NXT titles. They don't have to go after the main roster titles, and they need to have lengthy reigns with those titles. Like we had Matt and Jeff have the NXT Tag Team Championships, but it was like only for a couple of weeks. It wasn't very long. We need some lengthy reigns with those NXT titles. Oh, Mike Santana has no, it was actually Steve Maclin who had the figure for it, and the commentator is saying that Mike Santana reversed it.
A little bit of looks like a little bit of like a calf crusher, calf mutilation.
Yeah.
But Damian saying MLW Fusion returns. First match announced: Austin Aries versus Trevor Lee. Interesting to say the fucking Lee.
I heard that earlier today. I did hear that earlier today.
That's surprising.
Oh, he's going for the Three Amigos?
See, that's the thing is I like MLW if they were to actually just let me know the fucking MLW schedule. Just get on some actual kind of live, get me up to date. And I think I'd rock with it pretty hard.
Right. I think R1, he does this often to piss me off. Triple H
will be running AAA TNA creative this time next year.
R1 does that to get under my skin.
AJ Styles, as he's kind of the talent ambassador or whatever his position is, are they just waiting until they respectfully purchase TNA? And hey, what do you say? Much like Undertaker, all of a sudden, AJ Styles is the greatest booker of TNA of all time. It's almost like a fucking mob operation. It's almost like the guy from New York who's Italian might know about this shit. I've seen the playbook. I don't know
much to say for that one. Oh. Right hands back and forth.
In the corner. Back elbow. Up over. These guys, again, they're smooth as butter. That's the thing is I think we're getting the match that we were going to get at Sacrifice that we didn't get.
It's very clear that this was the match that we were supposed to get. It's very fast-paced, hard-hitting, both of them. Oh, he was going for the rolling. Yeah, he was going for the rolling buck 50, but Steve Maclin reversed it.
Oh, roll through. He's going for the kill.
Now the rolling buck 50. There it is.
1, 2, 2 go. Everybody's got a cutter move. New to this world on Twitch. AJ, are you the booker? AJ, I am. Yeah. But again, I'm telling you, that seems like the play. I could very much see that happening.
I mean that rumor has died down a lot though of WWE purchasing TNA, but never say never. I don't want it to happen. I think I've kind of clear on that, but
I get it. But
yeah.
I mean,
what is he going for here?
It's one of those that's there's TNA and AEW, or TNA and WWE, not TNA and AEW, are always going to be linked together. Oh, powerbomb.
I feel like Steve Maclin hasn't got a lot of offense. He'll get it, but then it's stopped by Santana.
Well, he did kind of start the match. He was kind of working over Santana to start the match a bit.
That's true. But as of recent, it's been more on Santana's end.
Well, again, a guy who's been wrestling weekly to a guy who's been on the bench.
He's been on the bench.
I brought this up while you were on your pause. You had the guy in the building. Why not have this match on the live show? Do the Battle Royal on the tape show? Why not swap?
You could have swapped, but then you argue what could have been the main event. Would you do the 2 out of 3 falls match or the TNA world title? Obviously, because it's the world title, you will want that in the main event. So I get it, but
that's a great point. That's a great point I didn't think about. Oh, driver, Michinoku
Ooh.
driver. No. Oh. Is it good? Do you follow the rules of if you're not first, you're last? If you had it out the gate, would you shit? Because if you do it out the gate, would you believe yet less or more that there would be a title change? I guess it's one of those of just you have the live audience versus you have the tape crowd. Suspension of disbelief of one of those a bit. I believe that anybody could win on a live show versus a tape show.
And then that's true. And then like being at the tapings, we technically don't know when this was recorded. It could have been recorded moments before the live episode. Like I saw the Bear Bronson, match with Moose right before it went live on AMC. So it could have been filmed the first night where you get being there both nights where you get the majority of the crowd involvement. The second night, the crowd involvement was a lot less. So like I see both of your points. Like I probably would have preferred this on the live episode. That was a 2 count. I would have preferred this on the live episode, but then you run into that. What about the X Division title match too? So it's crazy,
right? Well,
and then with TNA not having like Under Siege, because Under Siege would have been like this weekend. Like you gotta have to slot it in sometime in the recorded episodes, I guess.
MDB out there taking shots. Drake over Anthony's Skyline shirt. I didn't even realize until just now you're wearing a Boston Skyline shirt.
Oh yeah, I got that.
Yeah, we got beef.
Well, yeah, I got that for Christmas for my brother for the Bruins.
There you go. Well,
and
how do you feel now that the Sabres are out? Are you
that was crushing. That was crushing. Good game, though. The last game was very, very good. But I think the Canadians got the best of the. Yeah, Canadians got the best of the Sabres. So I think the first match for the he goes to the table.
And he hit it on his hips. He who sets it up must go through it.
Go through it.
From Santana on a Maclin through the table. But yeah, he took it all ass. Pause. Falling victim to his own designs.
Right?
Brain Hall calling out what I already know.
Frog splash.
2 count. Yo! They're giving you the match that you were going to get at Sacrifice. It's much like Backlash, how you got a lot of matches you were to get on WrestleMania Night 1 that you didn't get. This is you're getting the match at Backlash that you would have, or at Sacrifice that you would have gotten.
Yeah. Yeah.
His hips, they bang, they bang. Hero. Smash with a $5. Think about the names behind the scenes right now. HBK, Triple H, Taker, AJ Cena, Rude Regal, Jordan Finley, Heyman. It's a murderer's row of we got this. But again, I still wonder if it's the voices above them that your Shapiros, your Emmanuels, that are going to really damper that. Oh, no way.
So he was going for spinning the block, and then Maclin fell to his knees.
Darby did the pass out spot last week. It's not good.
Super kick. No. That was nice.
2 count. And I love though that he hits the super kick to move that fucking put him out.
Exactly. He was like, I'm gonna get my lick back.
Exactly.
Oh,
fight back.
KIA? Oh, no, he reversed it.
Oh, it's just slingshot. Clothesline, kip up. Spin the block.
That's it. That has to be it. That was a good match. That was fun.
That's the match we were going to get, and I love it.
Yeah, that was the match that we were going to get at Sacrifice. They put their heart and soul into this. This was really good.
Best match since TNA has been on AMC.
Yeah. Almost, because you got to think about that 2 out of 3 falls match last week was really good. Yeah, so it's hard, but it's up there.
But they've had a collection of bangers recently.
Yeah, they have. I mean, even last week, AJ France is in
between you and MDB. Drake dropped 3 albums in a row. TNA's dropping 3 bangers in a row. So we're gonna
Right?
make the bond. We're gonna mend the bond between you and MDB.
But I mean, you gotta talk about like AJ Francis and KC Navarro last week. That was really good.
Well, that was all on the same show though, too.
All on the same show.
But also very much that was the live show. This is what the show was about. Everything else was a little all right. This was 100% worth the price of admission.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This was worth it. That was a good match though. That was really fun.
They got us to believe when we know that spoilers would have leaked that Mike Santana could have lost this match still.
Right? We definitely would have gotten some type of spoilers for this if
well,
Mike
that's what I'm saying.
lost.
Do it on the live. If you did that, if you had that on that live episode with how much we were saying, oh, the great they already had, oh my god, that's a fucking god tier show. That's it talked about as almost one of the best shows of the year.
I really think what hurt it was not having Under Siege. Because like I said, Under Siege would be technically tomorrow. They do it every
got Under
Memorial
Siege,
Day
which you take last week and this week. And
yeah, I mean, yeah, it could have been. I don't know. Because you still like if this was last week, you just run into that issue with, the X Division title being a stiff match. So
too
it's
much
like
of a good thing.
Yeah. So I feel you. Like I would have liked it on the live episode, but it's just I guess just the pacing of like what you got going on. Like if we had Under Siege, we wouldn't have had a problem because we could have had the 2 out of 3 falls match at Under Siege. We could have had the world title match at Under Siege. We could have had AJ Francis versus KC Navarro at Under Siege, but no Under Siege this year. And I'm actually upset about it because Under Siege was my first TNA event. That was the first.
I can tell you're upset about it.
So I'm like, I'm really disappointed there's no Under Siege this year.
Boston, no making jokes of how I'm saying how it should have been on a different show than the show it was on or anything like that. Normally that's your shtick lately. But what is your overall rating? Again, folks, let us know how you feel. I see a couple of people already dropping 7s in the chat, 7 out of 10s. How do you feel tonight of what is the tape? We got what we got. I think I almost want to take the Maclin Santana thing entirely separate to the rest of the show because that's like a 9 and the rest of the show is like a 5.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say like my rating coming out of the 9 o'clock hour going into 10, I was at a 6.5. Like I wasn't overly hyped from what they had done in the first hour. I did like that one match with Jada Stone. The Jada Stone match was fun. Oh, the international championship match. That was really good because
Starboy.
Yeah. So I was like at a 6.5. I was, but that main event pushed it to a 7. I don't know if I can justify a 7.5, but the main event pushed it to a 7.
Fair enough. I'll give you that. Yeah, I can feel that. Finding that happy medium between, I guess, a 9 and a 5, 7, 6, 7. Really good follow-up, I think, ultimately at the end to the live episode that they just had.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I think and then like it wasn't like a huge drop off from last week because I think last week me and you did we give it an 8.5? I know we said it was the best live episode of TNA. Since
it was around there. It was definitely.
Yeah, I think we both gave it
on the ratings lately.
Yeah, I think we both gave it like an 8.5. So it wasn't like a massive drop off from last week. But that main event secured at least a 7. For me.
Well, that's the thing is I think it's the main event really outkicked the rest of the coverage on the rest of that show.
Yeah.
As
I think Almighty put it best here. Both of those title matches made the show 7 as a whole, though. Yeah, I feel you. Both of those title matches were really good. Everything else in between wasn't the opening segment with Eichner, I thought that was cool. But outside of that and the two title matches, nothing really else like kind of,
It was a lot of filler until the main
yeah,
event, and the main event was really fucking cool, and so was
yeah,
the international title match. And
yeah, absolutely.
thank you, MDB, because so Spaz sent me a link of, I guess, Oscar's broken her silence, and I was trying to literally read the article while you were giving your rating, and I'm like, this is too much to try and read while hosting a show right now. So long story short, Oscar isn't leaving; she's just taking time off, and that's fully deserved. I guess that fits more in a bit of the semi-retired kind of situation, and again, she's she is one of those that I think has all but punched her ticket to the Hall of Fame.
Her NXT run alone, like,
Yeah.
solidified her as a legit threat in WWE. One of the one of the things I just didn't love about the booking decisions WWE made, like, I don't believe Charlotte should have beat her at WrestleMania. I think she, should
Yeah.
have, Asuka should have won that match, but Asuka has put on a really good Hall of Fame-ish career for WWE, and she's
Grand
always been
Slam
in my
champ.
top 5. Yeah, yeah. She's and, breaking away from the whole, undefeated, being the monster, and then actually seeing a comedic side of Asuka too. Like that was like a change, and it was really good for her, you know.
Very few people get the long extended undefeated streak, have it lose, and then survive. Goldberg even still struggled with surviving once the streak was broken. So, yeah, big credit
Yeah,
to Asuka.
yeah. After the streak was
Um,
broken, she found her footing again. Her character became a comedic relief. She was funny. She obviously can still go in the ring. To me, Asuka has never really had a bad match that I could remember. Asuka's matches, she makes everybody she's in the ring with better. Um, and then and then she stepped away for a little bit. I think she got injured, and then she came back and she went full on heel again. I mean, it was just Asuka's really done some good work for the women and in WWE, and sometimes I feel like she doesn't get the appreciation she deserves.
yeah, well, see, you and MDB, we're building bridges. Peace amongst the tribes out here. Of Oscar's first ballot, she's top 5 women's competitor of all time. Period. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, I mean, she's always been in my top 5, my personal top 5. Like she's never been. There's never a time where Oscar has been out of that top 5. Um, I think, even the match she had against Bianca Belair at WrestleMania a couple of years ago, that was fun. The Charlotte WrestleMania match, that was fun. What, she's like a 2 or 3-time women's tag team champion. It's just like Oscar did a lot. Oscar did a lot. And I think she was there, what, like 10 years, maybe give or take. Oscar did a lot in those years. And I
Oh,
think she doesn't get that appreciation.
I would. I have a thought as to why, but I'm not going to say it here. As I think we're wrapping up for the evening, unless you got any bigger points there. But MDB saying, "Let's match for me and Anthony's bridge." Well, I'm glad to see the love has been lost. Um, but Takamart saying, "Roller coaster booking needs the lowest to make the high stand out more."
Yeah.
7.1. So got to be that point
I
one
like
difference.
I like that 0.1 difference.
It's the fucking Price is Right rule of I'll go 700, Bob. I'll go $701, Bob.
Right? But no, I don't. I think you asked if I had anything groundbreaking to say. I don't have anything else to say. I'm good. I'm
Fair
good.
enough, but I mean that does it for TNA Impact. We're building towards Slammiversary, and I think we're slamming our way through that, my guy. I think we're getting a lot of traction heading into Slammiversary right now.
Yeah, we got a lot of traction going in. It seems like we've already got one of our title matches set with the Elegance brand versus the Bunny and Allie, I should say, and Rosemary. So we got one of the title matches potentially there. We may get Eichner versus Cedric Alexander, maybe with a Leon involvement, to get a rematch with that. So yeah, we got some things setting up for Slammiversary, and we still got roughly a month left before we get to Slammiversary too.
Right. But I'll end on this of Almighty Pop saying, all right, guys, I'm calling it a night. I'll catch you tomorrow for SmackDown. Thank you again for making wrestling even more fun to watch. Have a good night. Again, we're your streaming enhancers out there. But 100%, we're back at it like a jackrabbit tomorrow for Friday Night SmackDown. So be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, and subscribe. Final thoughts, sir.
Yeah, well, just like Nick said, we're back for SmackDown tomorrow, the go home show for Saturday night main event. We'll be here Saturday for Saturday night main event, and then AEW Double or Nothing is on Sunday.
Mick Foley, our shit is real, our shit is raw, our shit is authentic. When you talk about that wrestling, put that for life with it.
See you tomorrow for SmackDown.